continue with my grinding corn video. And so I have gone ahead and I have cured the cobs. They're dry enough that we can work with this stuff now. A pile of Nostein Dent here. Anybody who wants to grow this corn, it's readily available from Johnny's Selected Seeds, and I'll be in Maine, mail order. It's a great corn, real sweet, tasty, grows almost anywhere. So far I've raised it in Wisconsin, I've raised it in California, and I've also raised it in Hawaii. It pretty much covers everything, except maybe Alaska. Not positive about that one, but it might even work there. So we got the corn ready. Right over here I have the tool that I'm going to use. This is the Little Stripper Corn Sheller. Hey, let's see. Oops, oh no. It strips, not me. Forgot. So, if you're curious what it looks like, here it is right here. This again is available online. It's not terribly expensive. Right over here I have my Magic Mill. First time I ever went into a health food store in the 1960s. This was what they ground my flour on. This particular mill, I believe, is dated to about 1963. It's got an old Dayton electric motor on the back of it over here. White oak cabinets, stainless steel drawers and plates, stone burrs. This is an outstanding mill. It actually was owned by a friend of mine who had a health food store in northern Illinois. And one day, after he'd closed the store down and he needed a car, I traded him a Plymouth Satellite for this thing. Right there you can see the tag on the front with the serial number, Magic Mill Incorporated. The grains go in here. Right down here is a stainless steel drawer that catches everything. That guy right there is the power unit. And right here on the back, there's an adjuster wheel so you can make coarse flour, grits, or whatever you want to do with it. Prior to owning this particular mill, I used to use a hand crank type mill. You can still buy those. There's quite a few of them out there. They all have stone burrs in them too. They're not terribly expensive. They won't grind flour quite as fast as this one does, but they do a good job. So I'm going to show you how this works. Here we got a cob of corn. Here I got the little stripper. Stick the cob of corn inside the little stripper and start turning like that over the bowl. Sounds like one of them hit the floor down there. And just keep turning and turning and turning and turning until you get to the other end of the cob. Then reverse. Well, first off, I'm going to shell a bunch of corn here. See how fast and easy this thing works? You don't really need any kind of special machinery when it comes to processing corn from the garden. So I say it is a low-tech crop, corn. If you don't happen to have one of these and you still want to do this, it can be done with the fingers or with a screwdriver. I've seen people in Mexico using a piece of metal stuck onto a piece of wood, and you just take it and push like this against it. You don't need any kind of fancy equipment to get this stuff off. You see how I can take it off with my thumb here? My thumb will get sore pretty soon if I keep that up. That's why a screwdriver or a piece of metal is a better idea, but you don't really need a lot of equipment for corn. Unlike things like wheat, rice, so on, oats that require an awful lot of mechanized machinery. Corn maybe is the reason that nobody here ever invented the wheel except to use it for pottery. There you go. I got a whole bowl full of corn just like that. This weighs quite a bit, several pounds in here. Okay, now things are going to get a little bit noisy. That smells good. Okay, so before I go and grind everything, I'm going to check and make sure that the grit is right. Oh yeah, she's perfect. Here you can see we have a real nice meal going on here. Not too fine. I don't want flour. I want a meal because I'm going to make cornbread out of this stuff. Also, the corn, as I shelled it out, really came off quite clean. But if when you do this, if you end up with pieces of cob and silk in there and you want to get it out, all you got to do is drop it like this in front of a fan or in the wind, and the trash will float away. All right, so here we go. Sounds done. Well, I wish y'all could smell this. Oh man, such nice, sweet smelling cornmeal. Just look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Right? From the garden to the oven. Oh man, does that smell good. Okay, so we grew the corn, we dried the corn, we shelled the corn, and we ground the corn. So right here we have a beautiful container full of fresh cornmeal. Smells wonderful. Next, I'm going to make one of the simplest recipes you can think of from ground corn. First thing we need is, this is an 8x8 baking dish. I have smeared the inside with a little bit of butter so it doesn't stick. I've turned the oven on to 400 degrees and I'm preheating it. Right here in a bowl, I have 1/3 of a cup of organic butter melted. You can use any sort of a shortening in this you want to. If you like bacon fat, lard, canola oil, sunflower oil, it doesn't matter. All you need is a liquid shortening of some kind. Next, I have 1 cup of organic unbleached white flour. You don't have to use wheat flour when you make cornbread. You can use pure cornmeal for this, but it tends to stick together better and doesn't fall apart into little crumbs if you use half wheat flour. So that's what we're going to do. Next, the marvelous cornmeal. I need 1 cup of cornmeal. Oh, this stuff is beautiful. This is so nice. There we go. 1 cup of cornmeal. Next, I have a 1/4 cup of Maui organic cane sugar. If you're from down in Dixie, use a tablespoon, okay? But if you're from up north, the cornbread just isn't going to taste right to you unless you put this in, okay? So then I have right here 1 teaspoon of salt. Then if you're from down south and you omitted most of the sugar, double the salt. Here I have baking powder. Baking powder will require 1 tablespoonful. There we go. Next, I have 1 cup of milk and either 1 large or 2 small eggs. Today, I have 2 small. If you don't have enough egg in the mix, it won't bind together well and your cornbread will be crumbly. Now, all we do is, with as few strokes as possible here, work all this together. There you go. You don't want all the lumps out of it. Should look about like that. Okay, you just want all the ingredients blended together. Next, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it into our baking dish. Alrighty, so for the final step, we're going to take the batter and we're going to put it into the oven, which has been preheated to 400 degrees, and we're going to go 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, here we go. Well, this one took 25 minutes. On the toothpick test, toothpick comes up clean as a whistle, so I guess she's just about right. We'll go ahead and let this cool down for a while before we cut it. So we had 25 minutes in the oven, and now we're going to cool it on a rack. Okay. Well, cornbread has cooled for an hour at least, and so it's definitely room temperature at this point. I have made a few test cuts in it here. There we go. Beautiful, nice texture, not too bubbly. Looks good. Oh man, does that smell like corn the moment. That don't need anything on it at all. Oh man. This is what corn's all about. Happy gardening. Grow more corn. No GMOs.